Hello, my name is Tavanah with That Grape Juice, and we are at the premiere for The Piano Lesson. Do you want to see who we get talking to? Come on, darlings, let's find out. What was the most challenging scene for you to bring Boy Willie to life, and how did you prepare for it?
I prepared by going back to North Carolina, where my mama's family's from, and digging into my southern roots and really understanding where I'm from, to understand and to get a better grasp of how to take on this character who's from the South. And a lot of my grandparents, my uncles, aunties, they know this man. They know a man just like this. I know men like this because of those roots.
Most challenging scene for you?
They were pretty challenging. I mean, there were some huge monologues, but I'd say selling the watermelon to them white folks. That was
don't do that.
That was pretty different. I mean, just imagine, he's 1936. He's in a white neighborhood, selling watermelon. It was just what is going on, right? So that was an interesting experience. And in the play, I didn't get to actually do that, but in the movie, we had a scene and was set up as such. So that was an interesting, tough day. But I mean, obviously, it's the 10-page monologues. Yeah. It's him grappling with spirituality. Yeah. Questioning God, because I'm a deep believer in God, but he isn't necessarily. He's dealt with a lot of abandonment. He's a lot of loss. He went to prison. Dealing with the prison system. So I all of that I had to conjure up and figure out for myself.
So August Wilson, his work has such a unique rhythm. Did you find yourself adjusting to your acting style to match the play's language? And if so, how did you convey that?
You have to adjust, otherwise you're gonna get left behind. If you try to force the language, it's not gonna work. The language will work for you if you let it, but that means you gotta know it, and then you gotta let it go and not be so rehearsed. So there's a rhythm to it. I was listening to a lot of Kendrick Lamar, a lot of Outkast. There's like a rhythmic thing to it. There's a rhythm to it that was necessary for me to get. And once I understood that, I was flowing.
You have a history with both film and stage acting. How did you bridge the two worlds in this film adaptation of a classic play?
There were different responsibilities in the play. I have to make sure people in the back could hear me. I had to if people are talking or laughing or shouting back on stage, I had to keep the show going. You can't stop. I can't yell cut. You know what I mean? In this, it was in the film. It was more about embracing the smaller, quiet moments, the one-to-ones, the energy of the set. Like I said, literally holding a watermelon and selling it to white folks. I had to embody some of that. So those were some of the differences.
I think we're all constantly thinking about what we potentially leave behind, what those who we love, be them family, chosen, or blood, leave behind, and how do we carry it? How do we move forward with it? How do we learn from it, utilize it to bolster our lives in whatever way we seek them to be? It's a longing to constantly try to build upon what was left for us.
There's a bit of Oscar buzz going around with your role. How does that make you feel? And now that I've told you that, how does that make you feel?
I'm not being cliche or whatever in saying that it's less about the awards. It seriously is about any attention brought in that manner being given to the project, being given to the work, which bolsters the themes and the content and what we're trying to talk about. We're trying to talk about how do you mend family ills? How do you consider daily in your life your ancestors? How do you build upon those things? That's pivotal. An award is a beautiful thing that is a lifeline to everyone that has been around you in the making of that work. Getting to utilizing the themes, the movements of the film to actually solve or influence real life societal things, that's the beauty of that.
What drew you to direct The Piano Lesson?
Just where I was mentally at that time, it felt like something I had to engage with. Not even to necessarily make a movie, but just in myself, to make sense of my own identity in these terms. When I read it, it just kind of went from there where I was like, okay, I have to engage in it, and then I started working on it, and it kind of landed us here.
Did you feel like it was easy to flow through as a director when doing it?
There was definitely challenges, but the story meant so much to me. It meant so much to everybody that I was working on it with, that was kind of the major motivating factor. That was the engine. It was never like a job, It was like we were in service of something much higher than ourselves. And in that way that it just pushed us forward all the way.
Yeah, you were working with family as well, so it's not just a job, isn't it?
Born family and made family. Danielle Deadwyler is amazing in the movie, and she was so special in this, and we became so close.
Did you find it challenging to balance staying true to Wilson's original work while putting your own spin to it?
The idea wasn't to necessarily inject myself into the material at first. It was to honor the spirit of the work itself, and in that way, you find yourself in the work kind of as a byproduct of that. And so when you give yourself totally to something, it reflects back at you, and you have to acknowledge that.
There's Oscar buzz around the piano lesson. How does that make you feel?
I don't know what to make of any of that stuff. I'm just so happy to be here. I'm just so happy to have made the film in the way that we made it. And the ideas that we wrestle with are the most meaningful part of it. And that's the part that will carry me the rest of my life.
The film deals with a lot of themes, family, legacy, and the past. How did these themes resonate with you?
I think they resonate with anyone that has family members, particularly if you have family members that you fight with. Every family has stuff, big or small. And I love that this film deals with it head on. I love this particular August Wilson play. I love that because of it. And I think he captured it great. And I think Malcolm Washington hit it out of the park. And I think the performances hit it out of the park. I'm really proud of this film.
Was there any struggles in terms of when it comes to the stage play and then translating it onto film?
Denzel and I have done all three. There's 10 of them, and we've done 3 of them. Fences first, Ma Rainey. The biggest struggle, honestly, in adapting them for film is trying to stay true to August Wilson and the play and trying to make it cinematic, which I think Malcolm did a great job with. So that's our biggest struggle, is how do you honor August Wilson as a playwright while honoring moviegoers cinematically? That's what we always deal with.